So today we're going to be making this three-dimensional hot air balloon out of paper. I used printer paper for the background as well as the strips for the three-dimensional part of the balloon, and then I needed a little bit of a thicker piece of paper for the base of the balloon. You don't have to use printer paper, you can use construction paper or you could use scrapbooking paper, but you need one piece for the background and then whatever pieces you're going to use for the strips for the balloon and then the thicker paper for the base. So what I did was I started with an oatmeal lid, you can use anything that's round, and I traced it onto my background with a pencil. And then I also traced it onto the thicker paper for the base of the hot air balloon. Set that to the side. On your background, you're going to start drawing the basket for your hot air balloon towards the bottom by drawing a curved line, 2 vertical lines going down, and then connect them with another curved line at the bottom. Using a straight edge, you're going to connect this corner of the basket to the edge of the hot air balloon, and this corner of the basket to the other side. Okay, then you're going to put hopefully someone in your hot air balloon. It can be a person, it can be an animal. I chose to do a penguin for mine because a penguin is my favorite. So I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines going in here, and then a horizontal line coming in from both of those sides, but a space in the middle so I can leave my little character. So I'm going to draw my penguin in here. And then I'm going to connect these lines all the way through. And they should match up, but I did not do that evenly. There we go. Okay, now from these 2 corners, you're going to connect from this corner up to the hot air balloon again, and this corner up as well. Now you can use whatever supplies that you'd like to color the background of your hot air balloon. Okay, so now that I have my background done, I'm going to go back to the thick piece of paper that I used to trace the hot air balloon base on, and I'm going to cut it out. Remember when you're cutting circles to turn the paper in your left hand instead of twisting your arm around. So now I've got my base. I'm going to move my background out of the way, and this is the part where it can kind of be up to you. You can use your printer paper. Like I said, on my other one I used printer paper and I just colored with marker, like scribbled all over it. Just make sure you don't leave any white along the edges. You really cover the whole paper. You can use different colored strips of construction paper, or like me today, I'm going to be using scrapbook paper with designs on it. The only thing that is important is that the strips of paper that you're using are about twice as long as the size of your circle. So if you are measuring with your circle, you put it once. you should be able to fit it at least twice on there. This one's a little bit longer than that, so I'm probably going to actually trim the end off of this so it's not quite so long. And then you want the width of your strips to be about the width of your finger. So I chose 4 different colors. I'm going to make them the same size as this, so I'm going to just lay this on top. And then cut it the same size. And then I'm going to guess you probably need between 15 to 20 strips. Okay, so I'm going to cut this many for now. If I need more, I can always get more later. So now I'm going to use a glue stick to glue the strips onto the base for the hot air balloon. You want to make sure that if you're using something that's only colored on one side, that you're gluing the side with the color on it face up. You're only going to put the strips on half of the circle, because you're going to be bending them over and flipping them to the other side. So if you fill the whole circle right away, you won't have anywhere to place your strips. So we're only going to use half of the circle to glue the strips down. So what I would do is I would just put your glue stick on the edge of half of your circle. And then you're going to start placing strips. I'm going to do mine in a color pattern. It doesn't have to be a pattern. You can kind of do it however you want. Just make sure the color side is up. Okay. So now that I have half of my circle covered with strips, it's kind of like a big sunshine, I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to start folding my strips over. So what you're going to do is you're going to bend them across. And oh, I had drawn on the other side of this, so I need to erase. And you're going to glue it underneath on this side. So your hands will be a little bit sticky, but I think it might be easier if you put the glue all the way on the other side now. Just be careful not to keep sticking your fingers in it or to set it all the way down. So I'm going to bend my pink strip across and attach it to the glue on the back. Now you can kind of skip around if you want. You're just going to keep bending and attaching to the underneath side. I need a green one or a purple one. If you want, you can also tuck some of them like underneath and kind of weave them through. I'm going to kind of pinch the edges here because some of them are popping off. This will kind of help them stick up a little bit better. Find some spots. And then I'm kind of out of glue, so I'm trying to add glue to the little spaces as I go, but I have to be careful not to flip it over and smush it. Okay. The only thing that I see that's kind of weird is I have this big gap right here. So I'm going to add another strip in that section. I don't really have any more huge gaps, so I'm not going to need to add anything else. You can kind of also very carefully move these around to make sure that your half sphere is full. So the next thing that we need to do is attach our 3D hot air balloon to our background. So we don't want to put the glue on here because we'll smush all of our hard work. So I'm going to put the glue stick straight onto the background and really cover that whole circle that we drew with glue. Then I'm going to carefully line up the base with the drawing, and using a pencil or my finger, kind of carefully stick my finger or pencil in and tap down to make sure that it's really stuck on well, especially on the edges. Now, some of your papers might kind of get bent out of shape during this part, so if you have to kind of pop them back out once you're done, then you're all set. So this is my example using the scrapbook paper. Again, this is my example using the colored printer paper. They both turned out really cute. I hope that you guys enjoy doing this project and have fun with it.